Hi, friends. We at GLC would like to take a quick moment to thank you for watching our programs on this platform, and we'd like to ask you for a little favor. Would you please go beneath this video and click the subscribe button? Did you know that by simply subscribing to the GLC YouTube channel, you can help us financially support the programs on this platform? You'll need to be signed into YouTube beforehand, but if not, simply click the subscribe button and YouTube will automatically walk you through the steps to sign in or to create an account. By taking these simple steps, you will not only ensure that you continue to receive our unique programming and gain instant access to the hundreds of videos we post, but more importantly, you'll also be telling YouTube that GLC's content is worth watching and promoting. Likewise, if you enjoyed a specific program, please click the thumbs up button below, which also helps inform YouTube that this is a program worth recommending. Finally, once you have logged in and subscribed, please click the notification bell below in order to receive announcements when we post new content. As usual, feel free to post your questions and comments in the comments section below. We always love hearing from our friends and viewers. Again, thank you for watching and supporting God's Learning Channel. We couldn't spread the message of the gospel without you. Be blessed, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey, it's As Goes Israel, So Goes the World with another update live right there in Israel. None other than the beloved author, speaker, dancing extraordinaire, Avi Lipkin. How you doing, Avi?
Everything fantastic. Good to be alive. I'm happy after 2 weeks, finally getting rid of the jet lag, just barely. And I'm already planning my next trip, from middle of October to the middle of December. And Odessa is right there in the middle of the plans. So I think probably the beginning of the trip will go Dallas, Odessa, Lubbock, Amarillo, and then Front Range of Colorado. And
Right.
then get out of there before the big snows start, because in Colorado the big snow started in June.
Oh, no
It's
kidding.
crazy.
Interesting things that are happening right now, even around the world, weather-wise and nature-wise. I mean, streams appearing in the desert kind of sounds like an Isaiah prophecy to me. And I'm not sure if you've seen footage of new rivers in the desert. And I tell you what, pretty amazing, Navi. Have you seen that? Have you heard of any of that yet?
Well, I will tell you, I am not surprised. When I was with Jim and Penny Caldwell in their home, they showed me satellite pictures of Saudi Arabia. And the Saudi Arabian desert had three major rivers. And then over the course of millennia, the rivers dried up.
Wow.
So I wouldn't be surprised if those rivers fill up again. And Israel can turn that whole desert green.
Right.
The Jews and the Christians together can turn that whole desert green with solar energy and desalination. And it's just a question if the Arabs and the Iranians want to put aside their craziness for war and spend money on providing water for the people who are thirsting, dying of thirst.
Well, we've heard of prophecies of streams in the desert, and God makes that happen. He also gets things done through people. Lord knows what Israel has done in their region and beyond. People don't realize all the incredible things that Israel exports. A lot of people didn't know that one of the world's largest, if not the largest, exporter of flowers, and of course minerals from the Dead Sea, and the list can go on and on and on. It's pretty amazing. But Avi, you're in the land of promise, and it's a very interesting time. I mean, I saw footage of Gazans holding up American flags and thanking Israel, all the aid, all the resources that the UN has deliberately not delivered, and that Hamas and Hezbollah, especially in Gaza, has taken these provisions underground. and Gazans are speaking out more about it. Sure wish they didn't vote in Hamas tied people. Maybe they won't. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but it is interesting to see a lot of things coming to light when even the New York Times has to redact some of their journalism and new photos coming out of staged photos, children holding pots and such with fat, Hamas members, hijacking trucks and taking all the food supplies underground. Uh, do you think you think they'll finally see the light?
Well, we have a saying in Jewish thinking, there is a reason that God hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Yeah,
You remember, Moses, in the name of God, said to Pharaoh, if you don't let my people go, you're going to have, XYZ,
right,
10 plagues. And Pharaoh would not listen. And then finally let them go. And then he sent his charioteers after them into the Red Sea, and they all got drowned.
right.
So you don't want to mess with God. And this repeats itself again and again and again in the Bible. So there's a reason that God's, hardens Pharaoh's heart. And, I don't wish any harm to the Gazans. Once I did a radio show in Spanish with a Spanish language, I think it was Univision in Miami. And they said, "Oh, you want to kill 2 million Gazans?" I said, "We don't want to kill 2 million Gazans. We just want to kill 50,000 terrorists so that the 2 million will live in freedom." And to this day, this is what we're saying, and this is what we're doing. We are not there to kill the Gazans. We are there to kill the terrorists. But the people have to make a decision. Do they want to be terrorists? In which case, they put themselves in danger. But that's not what we're saying. We're saying we're going to kill the terrorists because the terrorists don't want to live in peace with us. If they don't want to live in peace with us, they can go live in peace somewhere else.
I'm hoping that if there is ever another election in that area, that they won't vote for a Hamas supporter who boasts of giving one son to the cause with their suicide vest, and how she had nine more. Any word from the former leader of that outfit, or are you aware of that?
Oh, what we hear from these crazy people is something that their leaders get killed and new leaders come in and continue saying the same thing. It's like I said before, God made Pharaoh's heart stubborn,
Right.
and they don't learn from their mistakes. I'm changing the subject a little, but in Iran, there's no water to drink. There's no water to be had. But instead of the Iranian government taking care of its people, all they do is buy weapons and missiles and nuclear projects. But the people are dying of thirst in Iran. So God made the Iranian leaders' hearts stubborn.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Under a non-democrat president, Iran doesn't have billions to buy more rockets, and but I still marvel at their defiance. And Ayatollah reportedly is in hiding and staying wasted. Has lost his relevance and grip. I'm curious what's next. But I'll never forget the first time I heard from American and Israeli sources that Iran needs to be liberated. And
Amen. Correct.
so much of their social media, well, they've been suppressed for so long that it's interesting to hear citizens say, look, we are not in line with this leadership. We haven't been for decades. It's time for a change. And yet you have the liberal professors and universities. I'm curious when we're going to start unmasking the communist professors in our universities that are propagating this information. I mean, my goodness, did you ever think you'd see a day where a president says we're going to clean up Washington, D.C., clean up the swamp, clean up the corruption, clean up the slums, and the crime problem, and the very communist Democrat Party, the same one, is calling that racist? I guess that's all they have. But I see a lot of change on the way. I also see America heating up for a civil war. I hope not, but I don't know how we can avoid it. That's what the left has always wanted when they imported their army. And so I don't know, but I often reflect to what you told me about the conversation you had with a an extremist, and while I hope people come together and vanquish the communists in our land, I do not hope that they attack anyone from Israel or ties to Israel, but that's just my hope.
I have to tell you a little story. I don't think I ever mentioned this before. It's a horrible story, but we have neighbors where we live here, and their son went to the States to make money, for a few years, and he would fix air conditioners. And he was in Colorado, and he got a call to fix an air conditioner. Went in there, house, normal house in Colorado. And when he went in, there were pictures of Adolf Hitler everywhere in the house. All the books were Nazi propaganda books. And he said to the owner of the house, he said, I'm Israeli, I'm Jewish. And the Nazi said to my neighbor's son, "Oh, you're from Israel, you're okay. We have a problem not with the Israelis. We have a problem with the Jews in America who are Bolsheviks."
Okay.
I
Uh,
never I never mentioned that on your show.
well, I'm very happy to hear that in light of the fact that I'm very happy to hear that because a lot of people don't realize that the Bolsheviks came over here to fall the Soviet Union and they embedded themselves in LA and New York and other places, and especially our institutions. God knows our government, and those are the communist Jews um, that we're dealing with. But I am, if there's anything good out of that conversation, it's the fact that they are not targeting Israelis, but the communist Jews. And I don't want anyone targeted. Don't get me wrong, folks. I'm just saying that if you wonder why Democrat Jews vote against themselves, well, it's because they have that background, the communist ideology background. And, the very ones calling conservatives Nazis are more aligned with communism and Nazism than anybody. I mean, what a mess. Capitalism was Hitler's number one enemy. People don't understand that. Socialism is what he wanted. People forget nationalist socialist party. Okay, but I guess taking a rule out of the Hitler playbook, accuse the other side of what you're truly doing. Just very interesting times. But yeah, you've never said that before on our show, and if there's anything relieving about that, it's that they know who their enemies are. You know, but we don't wish for bloodshed for anybody. But things are heating up, and is this not in line with prophecy?
Well, all I can say is you guys pray for Israel. I will pray for America. May God save America. May God save Israel. May God save the good guys who believe in him.
Yeah. Well, interesting times. Interesting times. When you came over here last, I'm sure the people were so happy to see you. I know others would like to see you as well. Can you comment at all about the last time you were in the States?
Well, I think I told you about this Spanish church in Odessa that I had not been in maybe 15 years. And I produced 3 DVDs there in Spanish. Spanish is my mother tongue. And I called the pastor, and he did not return my call for a few days. And I said, "Oh, doesn't want to see me." Then Saturday morning, the phone rings, and he says, "Okay, where are you tomorrow morning?" I said, "Well, I stayed especially in this hotel, Eleganti
Oh yeah,
in Odessa,
I remember.
hoping that you would invite me." He said, "Yes, come at 9:30. You're going to preach in English, and then at 11:30 you're going to preach in Spanish." And
Wonderful.
I did. And but I will tell you something very racist. I enjoyed the Mexican service more than I enjoyed the English language service. There were like 40 people in the English service, and there were like 500 in the Spanish service. And they had this Mexican music from the north of Mexico.
uh,
Everyone was singing and jumping, and it was so wonderful. And I said to the pastor, I'm joining this church. I have to be here every Sunday morning when I'm in Odessa.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And here's
So
why.
they have rhythm, they have beautiful
Oh,
music. They they believe in Christ, and I love. I'm a Jew, but I love them very much. I enjoyed being in their church, and they're going hopefully to produce my fourth DVD teaching in Spanish, and it's about
wonderful.
what's happening in Israel now. So it'll be. So they want me back when I come back to Odessa in late October. See, I'm thinking to postpone Odessa till I come back from Colorado, get up to Colorado while the weather is still relatively good,
Right.
because you never know when they get hit with a major snowstorm out of the season. And so I'm going to go up to. I mean, there are like five churches there that want to kill me because I haven't been there so many years. So I've got to get to Colorado.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I've got to get to California. I've got to get to Phoenix. I've got to get to Albuquerque. I have so many places to go. I got already a church in Amarillo. And I don't know what Dan is doing, but there was one church down in Amarillo. I'll go to whoever invites me.
There you go, my man. Well, you know what? Backing up to the Spanish service. Hey, a couple of things. Number one, nobody worships more passionately than the Latinos. And I know that. 1995, I was burned out. I was burned out in ministry in 95. And my friend Ken, who grew up in Mexico, took me to Tampico. And my life was changed at a worship service. Thousands of Latinos in Mexico worshiping, and their passion and their love and the spirit brought me back to life. And the passion that I'm known for when I lead worship, I didn't have that before Mexico. So I owe them a lot, and I love them, and so that's that. But there's also those who would say that the Latinos whose last name ends with a Z has Jewish ancestry. I'm not sure if you've ever heard that or not, but like, Amirez, Gonzalez, all that. So, that's the word, and they embrace that word. I'm not sure if you heard that, but if there's any truth to that, which I personally believe that there is, when they were scattered across the earth, you have a natural connection with them, and it's also
Absolutely,
interesting.
absolutely.
And whenever I
I,
do worship, I'm doing worship a lot more now, and the presence shows up very strongly like never before. But when I break into the Hebraic sound of music, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, Latino. It doesn't matter what. They all want to dance, and so there's a reason for that. We are all
I
connected.
thought I thought they were Baptists.
No, well, hey, I have seen with my own eyes when I broke into those kind of songs. They do the same thing. They may not be as quick to dance in the Baptist church. I used to be Baptist, and but times are a changing, and freedom is freedom, and boy, I sure love our Baptist brothers who are so evangelistic, and they believe in quality and everything. And but I've seen with my own eyes, even our Baptist friends jumping to the worship there, and so it's wonderful. But no wonder, but Avi, you are very loved and very, very loved, even more than you know. And so I encourage anyone, if you want to catch Avi while he's in town, you don't have to buy the plane ticket coming from Israel unless you're already doing that or would like to do that. But catch him while he's in town, and I'm guaranteeing right now you won't be disappointed. But go to biblicalalliance.com, and book Avi Lipkin while you can. Now you're coming in October. I know that. How long do you plan on staying?
Mid-October to mid-December.
Uh-huh.
Hey, listen, Christmas time comes around, and I say that's the time for me to go home to Israel. Hey, listen, Christmas time has happened in Israel. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, so I'll hopefully 16th, 17th of October I arrive. Probably I'll need a day or two to relax in Dallas, and then I start driving west. Go west, young man, go west.
Go West, young man.
By the way, little a little thing I wanted to say about that Hispanic church.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who came up to me said we are from Cuba, and it turns out these people
Wow.
went through terrible, terrible communist persecution in Cuba,
Wow.
and they are so happy to be free in America and to go to church in America and pray freely. These Latinos, those from Venezuela and Cuba, they went through hell to get out. And God bless America. That's all I can say.
God bless America. Folks, you're seeing the way things are going. You can never let another godless communist in charge again. I don't. I'm surprised we made it through Barack Obama's third term. You say it's the Biden administration? No, no. He was nowhere involved. It was Obama, and the old Biden, of course, was complicit in a lot of things. But all that to say is, we must never allow this scourge to be in leadership again. That's why it's important to get involved. Patriotsinaction.com, patriotsinaction.com. Dan Rogers. And all that, Avi, you're very beloved among conservatives for a reason. It's not an accident that those who love life, those who love freedom and liberty, those who celebrate one another, share the same values, you know? And I've never met a happy liberal, but I've met a lot of happy people who love God, family, country, and heritage unapologetically. Be who you are unapologetically, you know? And I've spent a lifetime celebrating and promoting all races. Do you not think I'm going to defend mine or celebrate mine? And so be who you are, who God made you to be, and celebrate it and stand together. But it is interesting. Those who gravitate towards a certain ideology are over here, and of course, over here. One is life, one is death. One is a moral internal constraint. Another one is everything vile, and it's upside down and it's backwards. And of course, that's the difference between good and evil. It's no longer a political party, but political parties, people need a representation, and the Bible Block Party, it's made history in Israel, is still in existence. And I already know the answer, but what's the best way to support you in the Bible Block Party right now?
Well, obviously, finances are important, but finances are complicated because I'm representing an Israeli political party. It's not a 501c3. It's not charity. It's a political party.
Right.
Any money I receive, I have to declare it to U.S. and Israeli taxes. I have to pay my taxes, and then I can only use a certain amount per year, and the rest has to be raised from Israeli voters. So my hands are very much tied. Now, in the case of my book coming out in Hebrew, that's my personal book. I'm an author. I pay taxes on the money that I'm spending.
Wow.
That book is going to cost me $25,000. Uh, it's not for the party. I mean, it is the party, but it's my book, and I'm an author about the book. And the first edition of my book came out in 2006 in English. Hopefully, I'll have more money to print it, the second edition, revised and expanded. That's going to be another $15,000. So, so God is good.
Yes, he is all the time, all the time. Best mode of contact, is this still your email when
Yeah,
it comes to booking
Vic
you?
Mord, Vicmord, D like Mordecai, Vicmord 2001 at yahoo.com, or go to biblicalalliance.com and you can send me a message from there.
Fantastic. Now, I always ask you, what is the latest from Netanyahu?
Well, I have to tell you, we have a problem. It's called deep state.
Mhm.
And it turns out that our chief of staff made a number of promises that he was going to do this and he was going to do that, and he was going to wrap up the whole thing with Gaza within a few weeks. And the moment he became the chief of staff, he reversed course, and now he's following the directives of the deep state, and he's blocking Netanyahu from getting the job done, saying it's going to take 6 months. And as you probably know, the United Nations is going to have its meeting in September in another month. We cannot wait 6 months. This problem with Gaza has to be terminated, has to be finished. And the 2 million Gazans have to be liberated from Hamas and encouraged to emigrate, which is what President Trump said. Uh, the problem is not just Hamas, the problem is Islam. And Islam teaches these people to kill the Jews on Saturday and the Christians on Sunday. So if they cannot live in peace with Israel, they should go live in peace in some other country. But
Which,
the problem militarily is the Hamas.
well, because according to their own factions, they're not a religion, they're a civilization. And they are obligated to dominate the world. There's no simulation with that.
And to kill anyone who doesn't agree with them.
Mm-hmm. And
See, my
so,
wife will kill me if I don't agree with her.
you know, I do wonder though, with cities like Dubai, are they in peace? Are they prosperous? What's the situation? You know, the president of Egypt, the Trump of Egypt, after he overthrew Obama's Muslim Brotherhood with Morsi, Zuckerberg helped him stage the Arab Spring. There was no Arab Spring. That was a coup. And but he gathered a lot of Christian leaders reportedly and said, I am Muslim, but we have noticed that every country that embraces your Judeo-Christian values are more profitable, are healthier, are more secure. We'd like to know why. And so, but I do wonder though about places like Dubai. Um, how are they peaceful and prosperous? Are they a secularized version or not?
Well,
I don't know.
they are enjoying the profits of oil that the West is giving them.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, the West made deals with them that they'd get a big percentage, and so they became fabulously rich. But I think it is fair to say, in the case of Dubai, Emirates, they have, I won't say they've moderated, but in order to enjoy the fruits of the West's labor, they have to be more moderate. Qatar, on the other hand, has not moderated. They're absolutely fanatic, but they have so much money that they can afford to do whatever they want.
Including funding chaos here in the United States.
Right, in the universities, in politics, in the economy.
People don't understand
And
the role Qatar has. Yeah.
Israel is probably, at the end of the day, going to declare Qatar as an enemy country.
Which does puzzle me that our great president has alliances with Qatar, business wise. And anyhow, I'm just curious. You know, it's just an interesting time, and
Yeah.
I blindly follow nobody. However, I'm very pleased with a lot of the promises. This president has not only fulfilled his campaign promises, but he's doing more than that. He's cleaning up those who refuse to clean themselves up. The blue
Right.
states that have, you know, these Democrats, communists preaching about equality when they have 13 houses and mansions and their people are starving. That's a dictatorship. That's an oligarchy. And but all that to say is, we know who the King of the universe is, and his children, and those who love him, and are called according to his purpose. You're definitely that, Avi, and we love you very much too, and we can't wait to see you. You know, God,
I can't wait to come back and see you also. But
yep.
this time, no concessions. This time we're going to have a beer together.
All right, my man. We love you, Avi, It's important to pray for Israel, folks, because as goes Israel,
so goes the world.